Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today as we speak to the May energy update after our eclipse season, which basically the energies are continuing forward with us. And that's really what the theme's going to be today. We're going to be talking a lot about how the universe is continuously wanting to expand and grow. And with it comes us. So, this is an opportunity right now to ride the wave, all right? Ride the wave of these eclipse energies, because remember, as the universe wants to continuously expand, as I said, we are a part of that, and we either can come with it or we can get left in the dust. It's that same idea of the visual I showed you, I think it was last month, where, it was the eclipse season, riding the wave. We can either ride the wave, okay, or we can get taken under by the wave. And the reference was a surfer, okay? So now that doesn't mean that when we get tumbled into the wave that we can't come up for air and then ride the wave the next time, okay? I want you to understand that. But the point in this is we are part of this expansion. We are the expansion. We are the universe. We're individually that within ourselves. And as it wishes to expand, we will come with it too, as well as the opposite. As we expand in ourselves, grow, learn, heal, create anew, decide what doesn't serve us, make decisions for ourselves that serve us for our higher good, listen to our soul selves, all of that. That shift and change, following that spiritual awakening journey that we are on, all of us are on, whether we know it or not, that expands the universe as well, all right? We're extremely important to this effort. We feel like we're little, we feel like we're small, we feel like we're not making a difference, we're not on our purpose as such. Yes, you are. As you're doing this work, you are helping expand the universe and vice versa, all right? So it's a little different if, in fact, you're turning a blind eye at this time. Those who, I'll just say, aren't waking up in that sense, aren't, as we see on the surface of them, not responding to their soul self that wants them to see the opportunity forward. What we've got going on there then is this continuous magnetism that we have for them to journey forward. All right, because remember, eventually everybody's coming along. And there's a tipping point, right? And that tipping point comes with us doing our work. Those, what we'll call the initial waves of lightworkers, which if you're listening to this, you're part of that, right? Or you're questioning and wondering and falling into that understanding of who you are and where you are in this journey. So the point in this is May is this opportunity, again, to ride this wave. Is what I'm getting, is really riding this wave of opportunity that is being presented to us through the eclipse season. If you remember, again, I'm going to kind of repeat myself, particularly for those of you who have not seen my previous videos. Talked a lot about toward the end of the year that we needed to wrap things up, put a bow on it. And then we moved into the acceleration period in 2024, January through April. And they had been showing since I think last September, October, that April was a significant month. At the time, I personally as a human didn't realize we had an eclipse season coming up. So I realized that eventually, and that's why they were showing to me, I now realize that April was a huge month for us energetically. It's about the opportunity to ride that wave of those eclipse energies, all right, rather than get sucked under by it. And by us continuing to do the inner focus, weaving that spiritual journey in with our life journey, not treating it like a hobby, guess what? We start riding that wave, okay? And it doesn't end. This doesn't end. This is a process that we are going through where we are learning to reclaim ourselves, the true nature of who we really are, and weaving that in to the human life that we have here on this earth. So we are embodying all of that into this lifetime, into this journey. And that's the learning. It's not like a parallel path. I mean, you can argue it kind of starts out that way where we have, so here's what they're showing me is there's our human path and then there's our spiritual path. The human, we just kind of do this thing, right? We're just kind of flowing through the human journey blind, right? To the spiritual path, the spiritual part of us, right? Then as we start to, I'll just call it wake up to something different, and it's different for everybody. Some it's blasted wide open, as you know. Others, it's a slow journey over time. We start to become aware there's something else. But then we run this parallel path. We kind of dabble in the spiritual side, right? We dabble, we do the human thing, and then we go, okay, I'm going to try this. And then, we try something else. And it's just not part of our life. It's more like what I've called before a hobby, which now, as we know, it's not here to be a hobby, right? It's here to integrate with our human life, and in this way of, like, I'll just say, like a spiral as such, kind of like the DNA, right? But the point is it's not a hobby. And as we go through this journey, we start realizing it and we start integrating, and it flows. It flows into our human life, okay? And we make adjustments to our human life because of the spiritual journey, because of the awarenesses we have, because of the things that we are now remembering, because of the healing work that we've done. So what I will say to you is, regardless of where you're at in your journey, you're coming along, okay? You're coming along as you continue to do the work that is presented to you, and that's all very how do I want to say that? It looks different for everyone, but there are common themes and patterns that we've talked about in previous videos. This month, though, is this idea of continuing to ride this wave of acceleration into the expansion of you, which is the expansion of the universe. And what they showed me was, okay, they're just saying it again. The universe wants to continually expand, and with it comes you. The universe wants to continually expand, and with it comes you. Okay, so you can go kicking or screaming, right? You can go gladly and adventurously, right? And we know that in this journey there is a lot of pain and can be suffering along with it, but as quickly as that comes, the light shines and can shine. The thing is, what I will say for May is that this acceleration period, they just said, is long and deep and wide. Okay, it's through this year. We're riding this wave of these energies, okay, through 2024. Of course, they don't show me much further out, but this is a big year. Big year of creative expansion. We know it's creative expansion 2.0 as a theme, but what we've done now is, many of us, remember, it's a continuum. We're not all in the same place at the same time. So you might say, well, I'm not there. You are and you aren't, in that sense, potentially. What I will say to you is it is a continuum. We can't have everybody go at once, right? It is a continuum. So we are magnetic. Those of us who are light workers are magnetic to others. And you've seen this in your journey. I know you've seen this in your journey, where all of a sudden other people are waking up. And this is a very expansive time. These next couple of years, we're going to see mass amounts of people waking up. And you're going to be super surprised. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I never thought in a million years. Or, oh my gosh, more people are talking about this in my circle. Or you're just going to run into more people, okay? And the prior work that you have done and then continue to do is what is going to help ignite them further. So you're going to carry your light in a different way. You're going to share your life in a different way. Right now, a lot of us are in this period of time where we've really dedicated ourselves to the stuff that has come our way, to deal with it, to figure it out, to have our practices in place, to shore ourselves up, as we've talked, for this journey forward. And a big part of this is to be able to prepare ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally, right, physically, energetically, and emotionally, mentally. All right. So as we are preparing our way forward, and we are doing our work and been doing that, not ignoring it, guess what? This gives us the opportunity to carry more light, to carry more for the assistance of others that are coming this way. So what we have going on right now with respect to this, as we have continued to do our work, now many of us are out there, and you can feel it, the strength of you, right? It's different. And it's really different for a lot of people since the eclipse season, but we're starting to understand that further. And we're just starting to see that impact. So what's happening is your strengthening of yourself, of the work that you've done over time, now is really affecting those who are in your space. And you're going to feel this more. Again, remember, we're all on a continuum. So just remember, you might notice this more down the road, but just kind of keep this in mind. This is a process, okay? It's a wave upon wave upon wave. But we've got many of us right now that are really, I'll just say, shining brightly. Like, our fields are very strong. We've been doing our inner work. We really are doing this blending right now. Like, we can't imagine having lived like this before, or just like this. Right? So there's this, the human journey, to one degree or another. Then the spiritual journey starts to go, hello, hello. We do this kind of thing, and then we kind of dabble in it, right? Like I said. But then, guess what? This is what happens. We start weaving that into our day, and it becomes our life foundation. As this happens, okay? As this happens, we then can become the strength for those coming next, is what I will say. Remember, it's a continuum, as I said. This can't all happen at once. It would be far too much for Earth. It would be far too much energetically. So this is a process we are going through of the breakdown, which we see out in society as well, in what I will say, collectively speaking, across the world. This is meant to happen. This is meant to happen. We've talked about this before, the cell dividing. I say it all the time, right? But I want to keep reminding you of this process, because these metaphors and the way of looking at things are really helpful in remembering when times get tough, okay? So just know we're breaking apart, and it's a dissolving, they just said. It's a dissolving of all of that. And in the meantime, we're moving forward. And because of the work that's been done, God, pretty much like a lot of it's this year. So much, there's been this acceleration period, as I've said, right? Many of you know, like, your life has changed overnight, like pretty much too, since like, I will say dramatically since last January 2023 through now. But the acceleration period has been starting in January 2024. Okay, so many of you are seeing that in your life, shift and change like nothing before, right? And really gotten pummeled and been through the mill, right? But you're in a different place now, and this is the expansion that the universe wants, right? We have to get ourselves in place to be able to meet that expansiveness, right? Accommodate those energies, to be able to shift and change as those energies present themselves to us. So understand that right now, May is this time where we're just seeing this initial, honestly, what I'm getting is this huge initial push collectively, energetically by light workers. Now, it's not like you have to go do something different, right? Keep doing what you're doing for your journey and presenting out what you can to others through your heart space, all right? Through your heart space, through your good works, through the things that you have learned about yourself to be able to shift and change, to make a difference. Who you're with every single day matters. But there's this huge, in May, it's like this great leap. They just said the great leap. Because April, it was like adjusting to these eclipse energies. And now May, we're really in this new launching off period. We're going to see dramatic collective shift and change in a tumultuous time. Okay, but here's the thing. Remember, we're at different frequencies, okay? We're at different vibrations. What we're going to experience, I'll just say kind of depending on where you're at in your journey, where you're at frequency-wise, because remember, we do this kind of thing, 3D to 5D, 3D to 5D. It's like shrapnel that will just swirl around us, and then we're going to be like the Avengers superheroes who somehow make it through, right? Mostly. Okay, so that said, what we're going to be then experiencing from there is this growing expansiveness collectively, in the collective consciousness. But the screaming from the other side, as others are trying to release themselves from that, okay, because they all want to release themselves. Their souls all want to release themselves from that old dense energy. And I keep getting the screaming from, right? The like, no, I want to detach from this, but I'm really in it. I'm really in it. They're going to start extracting. Okay, and that's that pull apart, all right? So more and more people are going to be coming to the other side, I'll just say, if you want to call it that. And May is this time for us, it's super acceleration in the sense of like, they just said like rocket launch. Oh, everything else was prep time. So rocket launch, it's the beginning of the stages of the rocket launch in the sense of this beautiful energy that we've, and work that we've done in our journey to open up our heart space to ourselves and to others We'll continue to grow. We'll continue in our journeys, our individual journeys. Remember that. That doesn't end, okay? We continue to become more expansive and grow and create. But with this, we're going to continue to be that lighthouse. We're going to be that lighthouse for others moving forward in this accelerated time. So I don't want to say the story's kind of the same, because it's not. It's more accelerated in that sense of this expansion that we're going to see. Okay, remember, we have to come along for the ride. We have to expand. We have to come into, because this is what all of life is. It is about evolution and expansion and awareness and growth and life and love. And so this expansive state that we are in, which is just our natural state, is to expand and create. Now we are becoming more aware of this, all right? We are seeing it happen more and more. And expansion is also contraction, okay? Well, in order to have expansion, you have to have contraction. And that's the breaking down. That's the rewiring. That's the remapping. So that then takes us into this space of being able to create. So it's happening at the same time is what I will tell you, all right? But May is May is taking these energies that we've been experiencing and the work we've been doing and seeing the difference occurring, not only just in our lives, very much in our lives, but also we're going to start seeing more of this out in the collective. I keep getting this idea of people coming your way, like maybe in your own space, your own collective soul group that you're with, right? Because we all have our little pods, of who we swim with in this journey, and the impact that we make. So you're going to see much more of this. So what I think right now what we're going to do, this is going to continue, by the way, through 2024, and every month's going to look a little different, though. So this one is where we're kind of just getting our footing on with this new energy. It's like, oh my gosh, we're going to see it shift and change our journeys, opportunities forward. Remember, these are stepping stones. Sometimes things happen, boom, fast overnight, right? And all of a sudden, everything's different for you. But typically, it's a stepping stone. It's a gradual approach. It is a process. Always remember this. It's a process, okay? So let's just take a quick look at anything collectively that they want us to understand and know. Okay, they're talking about the times have come to stand in your way with grace and beauty for others in your day, offering to them the light you have, the hard work you've encountered, and soul food you've been fed. I love that. All now for the days forward, you'll find that you take this energy that you created in time, now unwinding it and offering to the others in your sphere of influence will do. And step forward they may, and some won't, but many others will. And a toast to the most. For you will see, and they will enter in to your awareness to begin their own journey of higher consciousness we find, and opening up of their heart space, the love they will find for themselves and for others too. You will see it in their eyes, a hint of a glint for themselves and for you. Okay, I never know when, the poetry always kills me because I never know when to expect that. Sometimes they just talk, like they talk through me in the channeling that I just did, right? But then they will shift and they will actually come through what I'll just call their voice in poem. Because as you know, the light keepers are poetic. If you followed me for any period of time and you're on my email list or you're on my Facebook page, which is Purple Rain Healing, by the way, that's who they are, is this beautiful group of angelics who initially brought poetry through me. Hundreds of poems around the awakening journey and higher consciousness and love. So it's always fun when they come through in what I'll just call their authentic voice, which is poetry and rhyme. And then when they channel through me, it's through this idea of metaphor and just letting me talk. And so with that, let's just Sorry, I got off a little bit, but I wanted to explain that somewhat, particularly for those of you who are new. Okay, so, and by the way, I'm just going to tell you, I have lawn people here today. Of course, right when I'm starting to channel the May energy update. Oh my God. So that's probably what you're hearing in the background. You know, it is what it is. Okay, so let's just take a look further. If there's anything else we need to know about collectively speaking. We've talked in the past. The one thing that has stuck out for me lately is this idea of people moving from this migration idea, moving from very large collective populations into smaller pods, I just heard. I don't know how, if you guys, I think that's literal. I mean, it feels literal, yeah. Oh, they just said yes, it is. Okay, so, okay, hold on. Oh, okay. So a lot of people are moving to places where they are meant to assist in the land, the connection with the land, because remember, the earth is a consciousness. We are part of that. We are vital. Like I said last time, we're the neurons. So those neurons, people, are shifting and changing and moving to the places they need to move to, whether that's traveling, taking your light there, or moving. Like there are a lot of people that are moving to, this is what I'm getting. Well, they said they're not going to necessarily understand this, but those who are awake are going to know they've been guided into the places they're moving to. And it's a time where they're going to wonder, what am I doing here? Why did I choose this place? But there's purpose in that for the land, is what I get. And they're going to meet collectively individuals who are going to be like-minded. This may be some of you who are shifting and changing where you're living and where you're moving to, whether that's down the block or, cross country, right? Or in another country, or you're traveling a lot, or even taking just a vacation. I mean, seriously. It matters. Everywhere you go matters. You're going for purpose. So there's a lot of that happening right now. We are coming into summer too, at least here in the northern hemisphere, I should say, where most of our travel starts with summer vacations and whatnot. Don't discount those either, okay? So we're all lining up. There's a sense of, wow, the grid. Okay, whoo, they're talking about the grid. Okay, lining up to support the grid in a more effective way. Our movements are, we don't understand that. We all are playing a part in that. Our movements are, migration is part of this. Immigration, whether you want to call it illegal or whatever, it's just movement. Movement of people. And it'll happen in the way it's meant to. Okay, so this is another thing, is as we start to look at the way things have been constructed for us in our societies, is we look and go, oh, that shouldn't be that way. Try to look at things differently, like just step away and go, okay, there's purpose in this. There's purpose in this. What does this mean? Just kind of let some of that stuff go. Oh, they just said old constructs serve no purpose anymore. Well, that's for sure. But we're still in them. So we're in this time right now where we are very much, I will just say, bumping up against the old. We're still working within it, okay, right? But it feels clunky, and it feels like it's not right. It feels like it needs to break down. We're like, wait, this needs to change. Well, it is, okay? It is. It's just this icky, funny, weird time that we're in. So with these constructs still in our face, and us having to, in many ways, operate within them, okay? Because we have to, right? I mean, this life is not about, honestly, this is not about us going no to everything that has been, okay? In other words, like running away and being a monk and hiding from everything. Some of us maybe have that as our mission, but very few. We're to operate within the system, because that's where you affect the system, right? And what I will tell you is you may be sitting at home going, but I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to work and doing my thing. If you're on this journey and you're doing your practices and your work, and you're not ignoring the things that come your way, and you're going through spiritual awakening, you have all the signs and messages, blah, 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 the whole thing, right? You're making this impact. You're making this impact. You are critical to this, because and being in that system is your energy in that system shifts and changes the system. Okay? Now, when we extract ourselves from that and say, no, I'm not, I'm going to go live on a mountaintop. Some people are meant to, I will say that, but it's very few. Going living on the mountaintop, who's going to affect the change? Where's the energy coming from with the change within the constructs? No, your light is breaking that down. Your vibration is breaking that down. Remember that. Remember that when you feel like, what in the heck am I doing every day? I'm just going about the old ways of being. No, you're not. No, you're not. You have shifted and changed dramatically, and you're going to continue to shift and change dramatically. So what I would say to you is, moving forward, wherever you're at in your journey, understand they're really bringing back this parallel path, and that you don't want it to just, well, first of all, leading the human life, and then the spiritual life shows up with some little cracks that it gets into the human journey, right? But the parallel path is the first kind of, I'll just say, entry most people have into the spiritual journey and finding their true selves. So that's fine. Some of us get just blasted open because it's supposed to happen, and all of a sudden we don't have a parallel path. We had our human path, and all of a sudden we're doing this. And that's a whole nother story. But that can happen to you, okay? But most of us are moving through a journey, a parallel path, and we dabble. Parallel path, we dabble, we do a hobby, kind of, I keep calling it, treating it like a hobby. That's what they had said. But then what happens is we start merging, okay? And this is how we flow. So you're meant to be in the day-to-day human journey, as difficult as it can be sometimes, but it also has its beauty because you start seeing the shift and change in others, and you feel it, and you can maneuver through more easily, as we know, as we attain our heart open space for ourselves and others and grow in that higher consciousness. We're swimming in a different frequency. We are swimming in a different frequency. So it'll start to feel better, but this is then what we're here to do. Work within the system. They keep saying work within the system. This is a big part of May. They're talking about too, working within the system, being there. If you're not in the system just keeps doing its thing. But we're disruptors. Oh my God, that's it. Disruptors. They just said, yeah, disruptors, okay? Remember that. Okay? All right, everybody, I'm pretty sure that's what we want to cover today. Let's just see if there's any last bits. I did mention how with Earth we're going to continue just to see her shift and change in, I'll just say, her journey of growth and expansion. And just always remember, we're here to continually expand. We're a part of this universe. We're not separate. Remember that. That's what we're learning. We are not separate. This growth and expansion and creation to our new way of being, or I will say our, not even reimagined way of being, but a reclamation of our true selves. I mean, we're here to do this. And I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing to contribute this day and forward. And I hope you have a wonderful May too, for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. It's our true spring and I just love it. So I'm going to head out into my garden right now where all the spring flowers are blooming, and also getting ready to head out on vacation. So I probably won't see you for a couple weeks. Coming back on the 14th and then getting my head on straight again with work and my business. And again, feel free to reach out if you'd like to work with me in some way. I offer channeled messages, distance energy healing, and spiritual awakening mentoring, where I would say probably about, 3/4 of the work that I do is assisting y'all forward in your awakening and a life journey, where we help you with past, present, future, help you understand your larger soul journey and how that pairs up with your day-to-day. Guiding you forward in the things that you're dealing with, and also assisting you in understanding your own awakening journey through channeled messages and practical advice. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. And again, I'll see you in the next video.